Hello ladies and gentlemen, as always, I'm your host Airsoft Alex with rockin' the beret, a little bit woozy of course because I'm not exactly 100% at the moment. So today we are taking a look at America and the World, chapters 56 to 70.
Excuse me, what?
Reasons, because Ron, the bastard, must have known that I don't fucking skimp out on two-parters, I try to cover entire parters. But when I started realizing that Operation Firestorm, yes, a lovely little nod probably to Sabaton, I hope it's a lovely little nod, because if not, Ron, I'm going to be very upset, and I'm going to get the catnip and lock you in a room full of the catnip, and I'm going to make you be high all the damn time. Or I might just get a spray bottle, I don't know. Either one really works. Again, I'm not really 100%, I'm kind of loopy at the moment, but... So, what happens between 56 to 70? Oh dear God. Okay, so the war is, of course, happening with the elves. The elves are pushed out of the Magus Imperium, and everything about that is actually really good because as this is happening, the Americans, of course, are trying to plan a beach invasion, but the Magus are trying to basically, you know, say, hey, we want to kind of join you guys in your D-Day 2. Yes, they do call it D-Day 2. They're prowling because iconography and marketing and notability and etc., etc. They do tell them that if they're going to come here, they have to not do war crimes. They can't raze cities to the ground. They can't fire on non-combatants. They have to act civilized, and they cannot do anything that will cause them to pull the support of the war out. Yeah, moving on. What's happening with the Beastmen Kingdom? Well, the Beastmen Kingdom, of course, is dealing with its own little thing, and the elves are getting their ass kicked there, because there's a lovely little thing showing, because when we were introduced to them, we started seeing more beastmen. We only knew the cats, of course, but as this chapter goes on, these two chapters, of course, we do see more of the other beastmen, be it wolves, rhinos, bears, tigers, oh my! Even lions. It's really good. The elves are completely surprised that these supposed inferiors are using assault rifles, kicking their ass in a good bit because AK-47, motherfucker. Then, again, everything is going pretty well. The mercenaries are doing their job, they're kicking ass, taking names, then we flip back over to the Green Berets. The Green Berets are doing their job, and they're trying to, and not trying to, they are getting information on all priority targets for the invasion, the assault. And we'll get to that, ladies and gentlemen. I promise you we'll get to that. And of course, finding out where the human concentration camps are. And most of these concentration camps are either, or they're factories. Literally being, sort of reflecting what they did with the Jews, essentially, which was forcing them to be slave labor. As for the Americans, however, we do see a very much so scary situation that does happen. And even something that actually raises a little bit of a question, because there is an elven fleet heading towards the American mainland via the Pacific. They do skirt by Guam a bit, and they were completely missed because of a storm. And they are heading towards Hawaii, Honolulu, Pearl Harbor, to be exact.
I don't like where this is going.
And of course, the president does give a speech talking about how this will not happen again. However, as they're coming, a sort of, as they describe it, a torpedo takes out a few of their subs. This is something that will probably be touched back on because we never really saw anything. And it's weird, I know, it's weird. Then, of course, we then go to, again, back to the Green Berets. The Green Berets are doing their job, and they have done their job pretty well, gathering up all this information they can, sort of finding their targets, finding everything for designation of bombardments. And that's what they do. Because the invasion does begin, but much like D-Day, or at least the invasion, or the liberation of France, airborne is dropped in first. And while the airborne is being dropped in, the designated targets are being hit hard with concentrated and coordinated bombardments, along with cluster bombs on airfields to basically knock them out completely. And because of this, a lot of the planes are either taken out because they're trying to land on dirt runways that they're trying to land on, or anything of that nature. Another interesting thing in terms of technology is that their ME-262s cannot fly high enough to touch our bombers, which of course is the B-52s. Gotta love the B-52 bomber. Say what you will about that old girl, but she's still got a place on the battlefield. Fucking love her. Another lovely thing about this chapter is that we do see more tactics. Ron has decided to go more detail into the battles, and I love that. I love that he is actually experimenting more with his style. He's actually expanding more with his style. That is something I do love. Another great element that I do love about this is that we do see everyday life with the civilian population of the elves. Basically, with the propaganda being spewed, I'm hoping we do see a Goebbels. Not Goebbels. No, Goebbels. Yeah, Goebbels. I do hope we get to see an elven version of a Goebbels. We also get to see a few other little tidbits of civilian life, like human slaves having collars around them, being used for menial tasks or being used in other areas. Society as a whole and sort of the different things. We do get to see a lot of it, and I do love that. We even get to see, of course, more of the defenses that were being set up. The defenses themselves being essentially like what the Nazis had put up, or at least what the Wehrmacht had put up during World War II, in an anticipated invasion from England, essentially. Miles of trenches, tanks dug in and hidden, rows upon rows of fortifications and anti-ship cannons, and just whole hardware lining the entire beaches, and would have been good if they were fighting a enemy that was technologically the same as them. This is the United States, and they are fighting a 21st century military. And currently right now, they're kicking their fucking ass. And yeah, it's actually pretty good. Thank you all for watching. As always, I've been Airsoft Al. Next time, ladies and gentlemen, on Media Reviews, we take a look at Kaiserreich. And not just any Kaiserreich story, a Gate Kaiserreich story. As to which one it might be, well, who knows? I mean, it totally isn't about California or anything, or about the Pacific States of America. Totally isn't about that, you know? Thank you all for watching. As always, I've been Airsoft Al. And if you guys want me to review a fan fiction, go ahead and name it in the comments section, but don't link it, because if you try to link it, YouTube will remove it. Sad to say. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Airsoft Alex, and I will see all you lovely people in the next review. Till next time. Later.